Hi, welcome back to Sherry's Crocheted Happiness. It's been a little while since I've checked in with y'all. And let me just tell you what I've been working on. I've been getting some projects ready for not normal craft fairs this year, but I am doing some pop-ups at my house, kind of like a yard sale sort of style. And I have been doing a lot of the pocket shawls. I'm getting lots of orders for those because they're kind of a internet sensation right now. Maybe you've seen them. Check out Sherry's Crochet on Facebook and you can see some of the colors that I've worked on, some of the projects for the pocket shawl. It's an easy pattern to follow and it's easily found, different varieties on Etsy and probably Pinterest as well. So today I have gotten some orders for a night helmet beanie. And I was able to download a pattern, and I'm not going to say this name correctly, and I will put a link to the Etsy shop in my comment bar down there, but it's Akruchi Tatuk is the name of the shop. It's the night helmet crochet hat pattern for winter. It's in English and in French. Most of the comments were in French, but they had a little translator there that would let me see that it was a pretty decent pattern, and so far pretty easy to follow. It is $6.72 for the instant download, and so far I just started this today. This is for a 3-year-old, and you know, we've had conversation about how I crochet a little differently, tighter than, or looser or whatever, than most people, and so it took me, I did have to frog this a little bit just to try to get the right dimension. And then I used just a standard thing that you can download off of Pinterest on sizing, and so that's how I was getting the gauge as to how big I wanted this beanie to be, and so I kept working it until I got it to that size, and then I just measure around. And as I'm going down, it's getting a little bit bigger, but that's how that kind of happens as you're doing that. So right now, I think it's going to be just fine for a 3-year-old. These are a little stretchy, as you know. And this is a different, I usually do my beanies in a double crochet. This is a single crochet. And so this has been a good process for me to figure out, because I've tried to do single crochet beanies before to make them a little tighter. For some reason, people seem to think that if it's a bigger crochet, like double crochet, as opposed to a single crochet, if they can see through the beanie, they think that their head's going to be cold, and you know, you wear a beanie, that's really not the case. So I have tried to make beanies in a single crochet in the past, and I've never really liked the way the pattern came out. This pattern started with a different style at the top. I usually do 10 double crochets to start the top of my beanie. This one called for 6, and then it increased accordingly, but this one is not going at a really odd shape like it usually works for me. So I may try to do a few more beanies in the future with the single crochet as opposed to the double crochet, just to appease those people that like to have a tighter net on their beanies. Okay, so this is just going to be the standard beanie with a for a night. It's got the beanie. It'll go down a little bit in the back, and then of course it has the part that raises up, and then it'll have a little fan of crochet, kind of like a fan of metal or whatever that goes down the back of a knight's helmet. And this will be able to move the part, the knight part. I don't know what this is called, the shield, whatever it is, we'll be able to move up and down. All right, so I will try to remember. I always say I'm going to post a video of whatever I've made, and then I get so excited that it's finished that I want to send it off to whoever purchased it, and then I forget to follow up with a video. So I will try very hard to get a follow-up video of what this looks like. I have another one to make, so even if it's not on this one, I'll try to do it on the second one at least. Alrighty, and so you can see I have a stitch marker on here. Usually when I work a beanie, I have the pattern in my head. I'm not really worried about my my count per se, but because this is a new pattern and it's worked in a round, I'm moving my stitch marker every time I go around. Right now this is at 54 single crochets, and so I crochet around my 54. I put my little stitch marker in there, I crochet around, I move my stitch marker up. A lot of times when I'm doing a round, and it tells me like on the increase part where it says, for instance, like on this pattern, it says rows 10 through 26. I'm going to just continue to do 54 stitches in each one of those rounds. Typically what I do is I count out that that's what, 16 rows, and then I do 16 times 54, and then I just count that in my head as I go around and around and around. But I knew I was going to not be able to do that whole increase today, and so I decided to go ahead and just follow along with my stitch marker so that if I had to leave, which I did, I would know which round I was in. And they're easily counted. You just count them back, the rows, each row to your stitch marker, and then you know which row you are on. So that's where I'm at with this beanie. I'm just gonna continue down until I get to the 26th round. Then I'm gonna just do the 36 stitches rather, for a handful of rows, and that's gonna make the longer part that goes down the neck on the knight's beanie. And then hopefully I'll be able to get the other parts done pretty quickly as well. So that's where I'm at with this beanie, and then again I will try to post a picture of it when I'm done. So the other thing I wanted to mention tonight is that there's always on crochet pages, there's always someone asking a question about are you able to crochet on an airplane? And I have crocheted on an airplane on more than one occasion, and I can tell you that I recently flew to Florida with my family, my youngest and my husband, and crocheted most of the flight there. I did not take scissors on the plane because for obvious reasons, but I have heard people, or I have seen on the posts of people taking toenail clippers to clip your yarn, or there's this little gadget that sort of looks, I think it's like a circle, and it might have like a sharp edge on inside of it where it's kind of secured, and then that's a way to cut your yarn as well. But you can take crochet hooks and yarn on airplanes, and if I was more secure about posting videos sitting out in public and talking to myself, I would have posted a picture of myself in Denver where we were stuck because we missed our connecting flight, and we were stuck there for like 6.5 hours or something like that. And before we left our hotel in Orlando, I said to my husband, I said, oh, I wonder how much yarn I should pack for the flight home, because I didn't really need as much going as I thought that I was going to, and I don't want to have to carry all that yarn. I'll want to carry some of it in my suitcase. I don't want to carry it all in my carry-on. And he said, well, you know, if you didn't need that much, you probably should just leave some of it in the suitcase. Well, lo and behold, we got stuck and missed our connecting flight, and I crocheted until I had no more yarn. And then I sat there for several hours with nothing to do. So I kind of wished maybe I had went ahead and overpacked my yarn, and then I would have had some yarn to work with. But anyways, at any rate, I was able to get most of my pocket shawl done, and I am able to tell you, you can crochet on an airplane, and I'm gonna guess you probably can knit too, as long as you don't have like gigantic knitting needles or something. So on your next trip that you're going to be flying on, take your crocheting so that you have something to do. Besides that, everything here is getting back to normal. I hope everything is getting back to normal for you. Real quick, here I am in my round, right back to my stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and do my stitch. I'm doing 2 of them so that I can get away from that one just a little bit. And you just unclick it, however your stitch markers are. And then I have 2 stitches, so then I'm going to put it in the second one, or the first one of that round, and then that tells me where to change it in the next round. Okay? All right. So anyways, like I was saying, hoping everything is getting back to normal with all of you, and that you have been healthy and spared from COVID-19. So far, my family has been healthy and fine. And we have, for the most part, I mean, we take precautions like everyone else. We wear masks, we wash our hands, and we do what we're supposed to be doing. But, you know, for the most part, we have tried to just continue to live not normally, but as normally as possible. So I hope that you guys are getting back to normal as well, and that this passes quickly and you continue to use this time to learn a new stitch or crochet that project that you have put aside or been thinking about doing. All right, thanks for checking in. Again, check back later and I will show you this finished beanie, and I will put a link to the Etsy shop in my comments. So until next time, happy crocheting and stay safe, everybody.